Well, we feel comfortable with some of the guys that we have returning this year. We have some guys returning that have put up good numbers, that have been through a great schedule, a grinding schedule against top competition, and have won a WAC championship. And obviously we start with Colton Wong, who is an All-American preseason, an All-American last year. He'll be our catalyst. He'll be a leader for us. P.E.K. Kitamura at third base is important to us. Jeff Van Dornum will be playing a lot of first base as well as DHing this year. Colin Bennett, coming back from a very good season last year, will be playing right field and center field, and Sean Montplaisir in left field. Those are the primary returning guys who got a lot of at-bats and were significant impact players for us last year. So we're fortunate to have them returning, and we also have Breland Almadova, Kalani Brackenridge, Easton Torigoy that are back from last year. And we really feel that the key will be how our new guys mesh with those returning players that played a lot last year. And Matt Harrison at shortstop is going to be key for us. Zach Swayze, an outfielder, will be key for us. David Peterson catching is going to be important for us as well. And Michael Blake, I'm sorry, is a two-way guy that's going to hit in the middle of our lineup and be a setup guy on the mound. So, primarily those guys. Connor George is a freshman that I'm expecting great things from in the future, but he's going to get playing time this year as a freshman. So for the most part, those 11, 12 guys will be rotating in early, and those will be our position players that will be getting most of the at-bats. We have 12 pitchers on our staff that are either juniors or seniors, so we've got some experience in that area. And it starts with Matt Sisto, who's been our most consistent pitcher now. This is his third year, his junior year. He's pitched in big games. He finished the season as our #1 last year. Had 4 or 5 tremendous starts to finish the season last year, and hopefully he'll just pick up where he left off. Connor Little is a guy that has had tremendous potential for us the last couple of years. He's a junior, and the development of a slider has really added a new dimension to his pitches, and I think that he could be a guy that wouldn't surprise me if he was pitching on Fridays before the season was over. Alex Capal is a guy that's been with us for 3 years. He's a senior now, and he needs to step up. He's one of those guys that needs to realize his potential and just be consistent because he's got tremendous ability. He's got a great arm, and if he just stays within himself and pitches, he'll really help us. Jesse Moore has been a reliever the last 2 years, but we're going to start the season with him in our rotation. Zach Gallagher pitched some big games for us last year, won a game in the regional against a great San Diego team. And he's back, and he'll be starting and relieving for us. Jared Arakawa is a guy that, freshman for Mialani, lefty, is going to pitch significant innings and could be in our rotation by the time the season's over. He's a strike thrower, throws 3 pitches, and I don't see him being scared when he goes out there. I see him competing. He's a tremendous athlete, so we're excited about him. And then on the back end of the bullpen, we're fairly deep in that we'll close with Lenny Linsky, who is an All-American and a guy that has a chance to be a high draft, and if he just has a similar year to what he had last year, we'll be in good shape because he had 12 saves last year. Setting him up is going to be Blair Walters, a lefty, who had a great summer, a great fall for us, and Michael Blake, the two-way lefty. And we'll have some other guys that will fill in, but we do feel that we're fairly deep when it comes to quality arms. We're not necessarily proven, but we're deep, and the key will be some of these guys that have had experience but haven't been consistent to be consistent, to go out and have a solid outing after a solid outing after solid outing, and that's going to give us a chance to be consistent as a team, because you'll only go as far as your pitching takes you most of the time. Well, it's going to create some early adversity. There's no question. When you open up with a team like Oregon, who's top 10, and then you follow that with a team like Texas, who's top 5, and then a couple weeks later, you've got Cal State Fullerton, Wichita State. You go to Loyola and Long Beach. We really believe that you have to play the best competition out of conference. You have to challenge yourself, and you have to challenge yourself early, because early adversity, while it can be trying to go through, is going to make you better. It brings a team closer together. It exposes weaknesses that you need to work on, and frankly makes you tougher. And that's going to pay dividends, hopefully, when you get into the last 20 games of the season, and that's when it really counts. When you get into conference play, you will have hopefully faced the best pitching, the best lineups, the best defenses, the best coaching that the college game has to offer, and so nothing that happens would be a surprise to you. Well, I think it builds the expectation level with our fan base, no question, and that's a good thing. It really does nothing with our team other than, I think, solidify the expectations that our kids have, because every year, that's our goal. And so I think that any outside pressure is still going to be less than what our kids expect of themselves, and the pressure our kids put on themselves to go out and perform and to succeed. What we have to do as coaches is just to remind them to stay within themselves, try not to do anything they're not capable of doing. What they're capable of doing, if they do it consistently, will be enough for them to perform well. And that's all you can ask, is that you go out there and you just do what you're capable of doing. And if you do that, the scoreboard should take care of itself. But if it doesn't, you can't feel bad about it. Well, I think just because of the position he plays, Matt Harrison's going to be an impact player for us, in that he's our shortstop. He can really play defensively, and he is a very vocal, high-energy player. So he's going to be good for us, from that standpoint. He's going to be good for us from a leadership standpoint. He's a transfer from the University of North Carolina. He's played against quality competition already, and he's going to be a guy that's important to us. I think Zach Swayze has shown the ability to do some great things for us from a standpoint of getting on base, making things happen, and he's been very consistent offensively in our scrimmages. I think that Michael Blake's going to be important to us as a DH or outfielder, hitting in the middle of our lineup, and then pitching as a setup guy for us. And David Peterson has to be healthy, and he has to receive well. We've got 2 or 3 catchers that will be rotating, but if David's healthy, he would be our number 1. And we need to see some leadership out of him at that position, because it's so important for us. But from a positional standpoint, those are the guys that the new players that we'll be looking at to help us from a pitching standpoint. We have Michael Blake, we have Brent Harrison will be coming out of the bullpen, and is a sinker slider guy, throws a lot of strikes, and Jared Arakawa, like we talked about. Yeah, we've gone through some changes to our coaching staff, and Rusty McNamara is our new hitting coach. He'll coach third base, works with our hitters, works with our catchers. Played at Oklahoma State, my alma mater, about 12, 13 years after I did, though. But played 10 years professionally, and had been an assistant coach at the UC Riverside for the last 3 years, and we're fortunate to have Rusty. And Carl Fraticelli is our volunteer coach, and we're very fortunate to have him. Carl went to Kailua High School, played for Dave Snow, who one of the best coaches in the history of college baseball at Loyola Marymount, and played professionally, and had been a junior college coach on the mainland. And we're very fortunate to have Carl. He'll be working with our outfielders and coaching first base with us, and we're very fortunate to have those 2 guys.